It is not a surprise anymore that the car market here in the Philippines is filled with SUVs and crossovers, leaving us car enthusiasts yearning for more. Thank goodness the MG GT Sport is here to fill out the void. And special thanks to MG Philippines for lending me out this MG GT Sport. I want one, please. And yes, this particular unit has appeared many times on my social media already, and I have tested this thoroughly for almost 2 years now, and I can finally show you guys why this MG GT Sport deserves to be in your garage. The GT Sport has a very aggressive front look which is unique amongst its competitors, hence you get this Euro-looking vibe that stretches all across this vehicle. Hence, this is why I always favored this GT Sport. You get LED lights all around and a ground clearance of 130 millimeters. Despite being a sedan, I have never scraped this GT Sport whatsoever. Down the side profile, it is your usual sports sedan. It is a very sleek looking car. These are running on 215/50 and 17 series tires. You get repeaters here on the side mirror with cameras underneath. And what else can I say with the looks with this MG GT Sport? You should always buy one in this nuclear yellow color, and especially with its nuclear performance. Pairing the MG GT Sport, so what we have here is, like with the rest of its competition, a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 158 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, mated to a 7-speed TST transmission, aka this is MG's take of a wet type dual clutch transmission. And as you can see in the MG GT Sports Bay, you can see a lot of gap for some reason, so I'm not sure if you can fit a bigger engine in this. And take note, I only said 158 horsepower because in some other countries this actually produces closer to that of 200 horsepower, and I kind of believe that because I've tried it out myself. And finally, here at the rear of this MG GT Sport, again, more of the Euro vibes. And I know this is already an old joke. This has Mercedes CLA vibes here at the rear. You get this very familiar LED taillights. And the rear overall, if you look away from the Mercedes stuff, this actually looks really, really good. But one thing I've noticed compared from 2 years ago, so of course you get your usual MG GT badge here on the right side. So I'm not sure if they literally removed the Sport badge here on the left or this particular one fell down. Underneath, you get a diffuser and sadly fake exhaust, but at least the real ones are just underneath. And this is another particular favorite of mine with this MG GT Sport. Very Euro once again. The space here, I think, is among one of the best in class. So this is at 401 liters. You can fit 2 or 3 of me. That's how big this MG GT Sport is. And underneath, you get a space saver donut type there. And that's pretty much it. And here in the interior of this MG GT Sport, again, it's so good to be back in this. And here in the door card, there's a lot of plastics here and there, but there's this nice honeycomb weave effect and leather pads here for your elbows, along too with the red stitching. Yeah, again, I'm so happy to sit in one of these again because, again, this is one of my favorite, rather, MG vehicles, apart from the X-Power, Cyberster, MG3. But as a normal, great value vehicle, yeah, this is literally in the top of this list. On the left side of the dashboard, you get your light adjustments. And as you can see, you get 2 stocks here. One for your usual indicator and for your cruise control stock. So this MG GT Sport has passive ADAS functions, which I'll just get in a bit. And going back to the TFT display in the middle, you have a lot of information, of course, premium fuel and so forth. And you get a G-force meter with this GT Sport. And steering wheel, yeah, it's leather wrap. It's more on the harder side of things, but hey, it's still nice to detach. So these are your buttons for your volume and phone connectivity stuff on the left side. And on the right side, you do get voice command, but I haven't tried it. And for your adjustments for the screen right in the middle. One nitpick I have with this GT Sport, yes, you have tilt, but sadly it's not telescopic. However, though, the driving position for me only is already perfect, so I didn't see the need of the telescopic function anywhere. And 2, you have other shifters. This is why I like this compared with the rest of its competition, because since this is a 7-speed wet type dual clutch transmission, you have paddle shifters. Unlike the Honda Civic, which has paddles that only do for the regions, not for a manual mode. And here you have a 10-inch infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Very easy to use, and these are all of your safety bits with this MG GT Sport. And you have an image of a 360-degree camera. It's not the best out there, I will admit, but it's better than most, even better than that of the Honda Civic, just being really, really honest. And as well, unlike that car, this has, again, a 360 cam because the Honda was only a reverse camera. And as well, everything is mostly done here in the infotainment system, like for your radio, your music, your Bluetooth, and for your air conditioning stuff. But at least you have some buttons here to control them. So these are like more of your shortcut buttons, again, for the volume, the aircon. And way further down, you get two Type A USB ports, 12-volt socket, and a wireless charging pad. And you can see this nice silver trim here that stretches all the way across, and a faceted part, again, like that of the MG1. And as you can see, on either side of the console, you have spaces here, like for wallets and for holding your fans if needed only. And the rest here in the center, yes, it is all gloss black. And this is an old girl. It's a bit dirty and there's a lot of scratches already, but that is expected already in today's vehicles. And pretty simple. You have your gear shifter, parking stuff, cup holders as such, center console box. Okay, pretty decent amount of space as well. Glove box, again, pretty small, but it's enough to hold this. Very nice manual. And then up above here, you get your light controls, sunglasses holder, visor, vanity mirror with halogen lights on either side, which is a nice plus. Don't extend, but at least you have a ticket clip holder. And my favorite part of this GT Sport, aside from the paddle shifters, are the seats. There's the red part along with the honeycomb weave. And surprisingly, even though this seat is really, really soft, there's surprisingly a good amount of bolstering as well for this vehicle. And another party piece, you do have a sunroof up above. And finally, here at the rear of this MG GT Sport, now you can see a little bit of a drawback now with this vehicle, since being almost similar in design with that of a Mercedes CLA, because the space here, I mean, in terms of the headroom only, because of the sloping roof design, yeah, I'm only 5'4", but that is my headroom. So 6-footers, no chance here at the rear whatsoever. In the door cards though, pretty much the same like the ones in front. You get as well here 2 map pockets on either side, and in the middle, 1 air conditioning vent, 1 Type A USB port, and a cubby space. That's the only toys here. The seats, pretty much the same, the ones in front. Sadly, there is no central armrest whatsoever. If you do happen to have a third passenger here in the middle, it's okay, but you do have for once a very large transmission tunnel, but it's pretty wide, but you can put your feet whatever you want. Just good luck though with the thigh support. And remember, I am 5'4". That's my headroom. Amongst the competitors, what makes this MG GT Sport compelling? That the MG GT Sport is among one of the better sports sedans I've driven so far. Mind you, at this price point only. You know the feeling that you just played GT Sport, then you wanna hop in this GT Sport? Yeah, this is kind of the same vibe that I'm getting with this vehicle. Like most sports sedans on offer, the EPS is light, even though you set this already at the highest level. So here we have sport mode, but it's still pretty much easy to drive, and you can feel a little bit more heft now than usual. But again, for my own liking only, it's still pretty light. Despite, again, the very light steering wheel, the handling of this is surprisingly really sharp. And the trade-off is, if you're planning to drive this around in the twisties, yeah, this is going to be very fun to drive. The ride is surprisingly comfortable too, even though the suspension is not too hard nor too soft, just the right amount. Although another trade-off is, this is a somewhat a long vehicle, somewhat similar with the rest of the sports sedans in this category. You can feel a little bit of body lean only, but again, it's not too bad. NVH is somewhat in the mid, because overall, like loud motorcycles, the engine note, if you're not pushing it, it's very quiet in here. But in some days, like today, it's raining really hard. This part actually tends to be a little bit noisy, which is given, but the rest, like tire noise, if depending on the type of surface only, it can be a little bit noisy. One might think that the DCT might be a little bit jerky, and you'd be right about that. But surprisingly, with this GT Sport, the tuning of this is really good. Here, executing a 3.2 turn. The turning circle of this as well is really good. Surprisingly, the transmission is very responsive, even though, like, I know the stigma of DCTs, they tend to be jerky, like here in stop and go traffic, but not for this GT Sport. Here, auto hold, then I'm gonna floor it a bit. Yeah, you can feel a little bit of a surge, but it's not sports car deadly like. It's a very nice composed transmission. The fuel economy of this is a bit of a mixed bag too, because in heavy city traffic like right now, you can do as much as 7.6 kilometers per liter. Mixed driving, you can achieve 11.4 kilometers per liter. And on the highway, the best I got was 17.5 kilometers per liter. Those numbers are not too bad whatsoever. It's just the city driving that is what you have to watch out for. At 1,193,888 pesos, the MG GT Sport is best reserved for us car enthusiasts who want to have fun but do not want to sacrifice the practicality at the same time. So yeah, that concludes my review of this MG GT Sport. Again, I'd like to thank MG Philippines so much for lending me out this vehicle. And this car is so good, I literally do not want to give it back whatsoever. But I will see this car on another time, hopefully. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more MG reviews coming right up. One more time. Right.
That's not going in, is it? Oh, it is.
Yep, that's going in. And as well, special thanks to Paulo and Lopez who assisted me here in the shoot. Bye-bye.
Freaking.